I don't know if you guys can hear me or not, but I'm pretty sure I'm live. Okay, so I wanted to stream because I wanted to talk about the Modern Warfare 3 and Spider-Man games, the new ones, because they both came out recently. The campaign came out recently for Modern Warfare 3 because I pre-ordered the game. Huge mistake. Don't pre-order Call of Duty games because you're going to want a refund like immediately after you play it. But I want to do a spoiler talk about it. I want to talk about the games, talk about how I feel, what I like, what I dislike. I'm gonna load up Discord right here, and I just want to talk about what do I think could have been better for both these games. Because both these games, I love the Call of Duty games. I love Spider-Man games. Like, Spider-Man's, like, by far my favorite superhero. So it's like, I want to make sure, I think it's only fitting for me to, like, put my opinions out for these games. So, we're going to start off with Modern Warfare 3. Because Modern Warfare 3 is something that I want to talk about first. Because I think this is the game that I'm going to have the most critiques for, I guess, the most criticisms. So we're going to talk about Modern Warfare 3 first. So for this campaign, before it came out, I thought Modern Warfare 2019 and Modern Warfare 2, the one that came out last year, were some of the best campaigns in all of Call of Duty. Like, I think those were so good. Those were so well written. Those were by far, in my opinion, I mean, I it's kind of hard to say best because there's like Black Ops 2 and all of that has a great campaign, but I'd say it's at least should be put in that conversation, both those campaigns. And so I was heading into this game excited because it was like, how can they get better than this? Like, I was wanting to get that feeling, like, there's no way they can be better than this. And I was expecting them to try. However, after I played the game, I felt like there was so much missing that were in the other two campaigns that was missing from this one. And so, basically, one of the things that I think is missing from this game is... Well, I shouldn't say missing. I should just say my critiques. My first critique is the new No Russian absolutely sucks. Like, there's nothing controversial about it. There's nothing, chaotic about it. Like, it's boring. It's just boring to play. Like, when I played the first No Russian, like, a year ago, I absolutely loved it. Like, I don't want to sound like a psychopath, but I'll say it. Like, it was chaotic, and it was like, I haven't played anything as crazy as this. Like, this is insane. And so after I played that, I just really enjoyed it. But then this new one, I didn't get the same feeling. I didn't get the same vibe. I feel like something was missing from that. I feel like something was missing from that mission. Because the way they did it, and this is spoilers, by the way, this is a spoiler talk. The way they missed it was basically in the game they have you play as one of Farah's like old mates that were in her like rebellion group when Russia originally invaded her country, Urzikstan, I don't know. And basically she was part of it, and he was basically trying to ignite a war between Russia and Urzikstan. I don't know how to pronounce it. I hate English. So to do that, that's really similar to the original MW2's campaign, because he does that instead with the United States. I feel like it would have been crazier if they just did that with the United States in this game, but still, they did it with Urzikstan. I keep screwing it up. It's Urzikstan. And so basically, he does a No Russian on an airplane. He straps like a bomb around this chick, I forget what her name is, like Samara, maybe Samara, I don't know. Like she has like a bomb strapped around her, and you know all chaos goes unglued. Like you can hear like people screaming in the plane and all that, and she's taken into like this cockpit where Makarov puts a vest, like a bomb vest, around her, and then she lets him out into like the main airplane thing. Like they puts her out in like the class area or something like that, the seating area of the plane. And there's like a phone where if you call it, if you like press call or something like that, then the bomb will explode. And one of the hijackers threw it, and somebody grabbed it. Boom, bombs explode, and then terror. Now you might be thinking like that's pretty crazy, but it still doesn't give the same vibe. Like it still doesn't give the same vibe, at least for me, that it had for the original No Russian. And I also want to talk about Makarov a bit, because Makarov, I feel like if you had to compare this Makarov with the Makarov from the original trilogy Makarov would absolutely annihilate this new Makarov without a heartbeat. Like this Makarov is not intimidating at all. Like he's kind of portrayed as like a joke, in my opinion. And then another thing I want to criticize is the ending, because the ending, it felt like something was missing. Like it didn't feel like the actual ending, or if it did, at least, then it just didn't connect with me. Because in the end, there's a big death. Soap, he's shot by Makarov, and it's like shoots him in the face, like in the head, in the face. And that's, I was a bit sad, because Soap's like one of my favorite characters, and so I was sad, but at the same time I felt like it was a pathetic way to die, just to die by a gunshot like that. Like he didn't have like a Price and Soap moment, just like the original. Like I felt like that was just made so bad and so poorly. Like I felt like it made no sense to kill him off that way. But what makes the ending worse for me is that Makarov is completely lives. Like they don't go after him immediately after the death. They don't do any of that. They're just gonna let him cause more terror around the world, and eventually cause war with Russia and Urzikstan. Like it's just, I don't like the way they did that. Like I felt like there was just more missing from that, and it felt incomplete. Like very, very incomplete. I need a drink. I need a drink of this. But yeah, the whole ending felt very odd to me. It felt like something was missing from it. Another thing I'll give criticism to is open combat missions. Now, I'm someone who is open to new ideas when it comes to Call of Duty. Like ideas that are gameplay based and story based. I'm completely open to that. But open combat missions. I almost said paper, because I'm gonna get to paper in a second. Open combat missions, they were good on paper. Like they sounded like they were gonna be cool on paper. Like I was actually excited when they first revealed these ideas for open combat missions. They did not stick the landing at all. I felt like they completely ruined like the pacing of the game. I felt like they ruined the immersion of the game. Like I felt like the standard Call of Duty campaigns were way better, because I felt like the open combat missions and the ending are the big points that I'm against here, because I just did not like the way it was. Like again, it sounded good on paper and it looked good on paper, but after playing it, like it completely ruined the immersion. One thing I will give props for though. One thing I will give props for though is the gameplay. The gameplay is really good. The gameplay is phenomenal. Like besides the open combat missions, like I felt like those missions still gave you like out of immersion all that, but like the gameplay is fun. Like the shooting, the gunplay, the just it felt like it kind of felt it's pretty much the same, but like it felt different in a way. Like I don't know how to describe it. Like it felt unique and kind of like it's its own thing. And I'll also give the praise to the graphics because the MW2 graphics I thought were incredible. Like the graphics in that game were amazing. And I didn't know if it could get any better, but I'm telling you, they got way better. Like the graphics in this game are holy cow. It literally looks like you're watching a live action movie. Like I don't know how Activision, how Sledgehammer, Infinity Ward, Treyarch, like I don't know how they do that. But if I had to give a rating for this game, I'd have to give it a 6 out of 10. I'd say it's pretty like lackluster. It lacks a bunch of things that kind of just took me out of the game a bit. Will I say Vanguard is better? No. Vanguard's still worse. I think Vanguard just solidified as itself as the worst Call of Duty campaign for the rest of eternity. Like I do not like Vanguard's campaign, and I feel like even saying that MW3's campaign is lackluster, it still blows Vanguard's campaign out of the water. Like so I'll give that, but like still, I think, in my opinion, the best campaign of the last few years has to be the MW19 campaign because that one just felt so realistic. Like I'm not a big guy. Like I'm not a big fan of like overly realistic games when it comes to like story games or gameplay or anything like that. Like I mean I think it's really cool with graphics and stuff. Like I'll give it that, but like I'm not like the biggest fan of like ultra realism in video games. However, I think the way that Infinity Ward hit it in MW19 was really good because it's like a war game. It's not even like supposed to be like a first person shooter like war game or anything like that. It's like a war simulator because it actually felt like you were the person in war, and I think that's the craziest part. Like that mission. Oh God, what's it called? It's like the most realistic mission in all of Call of Duty. I don't know the name for it, but there's a mission in the game. It's like one of the it's like the mission after the terrorist attacks in like Piccadilly or something like that, and they're like going through a house, and you can hear like a baby crying. You can hear like women screaming. You can hear so much happening. It felt so realistic, and yeah, like it was crazy. And actually, I'm gonna go back to the new No Russian mission for a second because I remember a few months ago, this was probably like 2 months ago, there were people on Twitter who goes by the name of Modern Warzone. You might know him. He has like this like Twitter podcast with Charlie Intel, and they were talking because they got to play the game. They saw somebody playing the new No Russian mission, and they've said that they heard like ladies screaming, babies crying. But I barely got any of that. I did not see that much at all. Like, I think I heard, like, there were definitely I heard people screaming. I heard people, like, panicking. But, like, I didn't hear, like, hardcore screaming. Like, hardcore, like, babies crying. Like, I didn't hear any babies crying. Like, that kind of, like, I'm not mad at the game. I'm just mad at those people for lying because, like, bro, like, why do you gotta lie like that? Like, I heard none of that, man. Why you lied to me? It's all good. It's all fun games. So, Spider-Man 2. Let's talk about Spider-Man 2. So, Spider-Man 2, I really enjoyed this game story. I thought it was really good how it was written. I liked how they made Miles the hero kind of different, besides the spin-off game. But I thought it was really good. There are a few criticisms for this game as well. You know, not any game is perfect. Besides Red Dead Redemption 2 and God of War Ragnarok. You heard me. But I think where it kind of draws down for me with this game are the villains. Like, the villains didn't leave the biggest mark for me. Like, they kind of... Like, I felt like Kraven was just, like... They weren't boring, per se. Like, I saw people on Twitter before the game came out saying that Kraven was boring. However, I don't think Kraven was boring at all. I felt like he was menacing. And the dude who plays him, he absolutely nailed his performance. He nailed his performance. Like, it was really good performance. But I think where I'm drawing off from is, like, I felt like he was just wasted. Like, I felt like there was so much more that Insomniac could do with him. I felt like there was so much stuff that they could have done with him that didn't happen. Like, I felt like we could have gotten more of like a Kraven's Last Hunt bit where he kind of like tries to take over Spider-Man, like tries to become Spider-Man, tries to become like a hero of New York. Like, I wish we got something more like that. And for Venom, I think Venom... Here's the thing about Venom in this game. Like, I think he's good, but he doesn't give off the same vibe as, like, Tom Hardy's Venom. Like, don't get me wrong. I think when it comes to being, like, a character type, like a villain, this Venom blows Tom Hardy's Venom out of the pond, out of the water. Like, completely drains it out. But where I'm drawn to the edge is that this Venom doesn't seem that intimidating. Like, he doesn't seem that menacing. Like, he doesn't give the same menacing arc as Kraven did. Like, I thought there were a few wonky bits that he did in there. What's this on Discord? What is this? What is this? Oh, okay. Like, there were a few bits on Discord, or some friend posted someone on Discord. We've been talking about Five Nights at Freddy's for the past few days, so posted something in it. But anyways, I felt like Venom was just too OP. Like, I think the best part about Venom is the fact you got to play as him. Like, that was pretty crazy. But, like, he didn't give off, like, a menacing vibe. Like, the closest he did was to that game, that part where you play as him, and you know, like, that's pretty good. The story overall, if I had to say that, if you were asked to ask me if I think this game was, like, this story was better than the 2018 game, then I would answer no, not really. No. I don't think it's better. I think the 2018 story is the best still. Like, I think the 2018 game, like, did everything right. Like, it got its villains right. It built up its villains. Like, you knew Dr. Octavius would become Otto, but the suspense for it is what got it. Like, that's the same thing for Venom in this game. However, I felt like it didn't really deliver with it. But no, I think the 2018 game is better because it had more of an emotion. Like, one thing I feel like was missing from this game, the new game, is that I felt like there was no Peter Parker Spider-Man moment. And what I mean by that is I feel like he doesn't lose something. And now, granted, it's cool to see Peter Parker happy. And, he's still miserable at the end of the game. Like, he was still a mess at the end of the game. But I felt like there was just some bits that were missing of it. Like, what makes a good Peter Parker story is him losing something. And I'm not trying to sound like a jerk, but, I mean, look at No Way Home. Look at Spider-Man No Way Home. He loses literally everything, and that movie was literally one of the best movies of 2021. Look at the first game. He loses Aunt May, and that story did really good. Look at this is probably gonna be a bad one, but it still works. But The Amazing Spider-Man 2, he loses his girlfriend, but it still gave the big emotion. Like, it still gave so much emotion. Like, that movie might have not been well, but it gave a lot of emotion. But I still don't think that this game gives off that emotion. Like, it doesn't. Like, I think the closest it gets to it is Harry being put in a coma. Like, that gives off a pretty emotional part, but, like, I don't really know if I'd compare it to, like, any other emotional piece for Peter. Because it kind of ruins, like, the whole point of a Spider-Man story for me. And don't worry, I love when Peter Parker's happy. I just like to see him. I like to see him miserable sometimes. And I get that they're saving it for Spider-Man 3, which, one thing I will say about this game is that there's a side mission where you find the Carnage symbiote. I don't know if it's going to be for Spider-Man 3, but DLC probably. DLC. We gotta give Goblin his time. We gotta give Goblin his time in the third game. For the anti-venom part, I thought that was really sick. I thought them giving Peter the anti-venom symbiote was like the coolest bit yet. I feel like, or not, I wouldn't say coolest bit. I feel like there were a bit cooler things, but like, I think them giving Peter the anti-venom symbiote was such a right thing to do, because when you saw those abilities with the Venom symbiote, you're like, oh man, I want to keep those. Can I take this away from me, Insomniac? Like, that's how I felt after I lost the symbiote. I was like, no, you can't take this away from me. But then when Peter got that kick up and he landed on his feet and that like anti-venom symbiote came out, I was like, holy crap. That is cool, and that is brave, and I give Insomniac props for that, because that was crazy. Is there anything else for me to talk about? Oh yeah, the Lizard. He wasn't really in the game for long. Like, he was in the game for probably like an hour or so. But he was alright. Like, so it's kind of hard for me to judge him because of how short he's in the game. But like, he was fine, I guess. Just like MWIII, graphics in this game really good. It really bursts the immersion of this video game. I also think that the gameplay is incredible. I think the gameplay is definitely a step up from the other two games, because I felt like there's so much more that you can do with it. Like, you can make these cool combos with these abilities. Like, you can have those, do the combo from the original like reveal trailer from like 2021 or whatever the reveal trailer came out. Like, you can do like the ability where the Iron Arms, like, he goes down with the Iron Arms, kicks the bad guy up, and then like uses the Iron Arms as weapons to take the bad guy out. Like, you could do that. You can do really cool abilities with really cool combos with the abilities you have, and I love it. It brings so much to the game. The skins or the suits, I'm not the biggest fan of. Like that, the suit Miles gets at the end of the game, I'm not gonna call it like just horrendous or go on the cancel train that it has on Twitter, But I do not like it at all. So like I don't think it's a good suit. But I'm not gonna boycott it because I mean let Insomniac do their own thing. Like they heard the criticisms to the suit Peter had in the first game, so they're gonna hear the criticisms for this suit. The suit that Peter gets after he gets the Emily after he finishes all the MWIII Foundation missions, I do not like that one either. That one, like, please don't let Harry make a suit again because that was absolutely terrible. And then I think my favorite suit in the game is probably the Amazing Spider-Man 2 suit. And if I'm being honest, I wasn't a big fan of the suit because I don't like the eyes of the suit. And I still don't like the eyes of the suit. But the suit in this game definitely changed my opinion on it. That's my favorite suit for Peter. And for my favorite suit for Miles, he has a pretty bad suit. So I'm trying so hard to think. I like the is it an upgraded suit? I'm pretty sure is what it's called. The canon one that he has. I like that one. I like that one a lot. I think that one's a really good suit. I think that's pretty much all I will want to talk about. Really, I feel like that's pretty much it. So final verdict on these games: Modern Warfare 3, really rushed, incomplete ending. Like it wasn't a complete ending, and it has good graphics. No Russian was absolutely garbage. 6 out of 10. That's a lackluster to me. Spider-Man, really good game. Don't think it's better. Don't think the story is better than the first game. Good gameplay, good graphics, mid-tier villains. I'll give that an 8 out of 10. I'd give Spider-Man an 8 out of 10. I'd say it's great status. But I think that's pretty much all I want to talk about. I think I've talked about pretty much everything, which is weird because I always feel like I'm missing something in these videos or in these streams, and so I know I probably am. I think that's pretty much all I want to talk about. I'm not even checking if that's all I've talked about because I pretty much know it is, but yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So thank you guys for watching. These games, really enjoyed them. I want to get back into streaming soon. Like I have like a whole like I have a bunch of like stuff ready. Like I have a starting soon screen. I have a be right back screen, break time screen. I have a stream over screen. I don't know if I'm really going to use that though because I'm on YouTube. I'm going to stream on YouTube now. But I definitely want to get back into streaming soon. So this is like the first bit into it. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Adios.